everyone, it's Tanny Games here. Welcome back to the channel. We're back with another Discord Dreamsnap review video, and this time is for the Rock Show challenge. There's gonna be, I'm not gonna lie, I'm expecting to see a lot of similar-ish submissions this week. Even when I was doing my alt account submission and my husband's account, they're very similar. The main difference is the fact that my husband had less items than what I had on my alt account. So that kind of defined the differences between the two shots. So even like me, I was struggling to be inventive and come up with something original. So yeah, I imagine we'll see a lot of similar looking submissions this week, but I fully expect that with the challenge requirements. I hope you all had fun with this challenge. I thought this challenge was going to be a lot more fun than what it was, especially with it being a rock show and stuff like that. I was kind of like, well, I enjoy a rock show. And then I was kind of maybe a bit disappointed in the end or something. I don't know. I don't think it turned out as strong as it could have. Let's just say that. So we'll just have to we'll have to wait and see. But let's jump over to Discord, because I'm sure some of you have come up with absolutely amazing submissions, mind-blowing creations, and yeah, I'm excited to see what you've all done. So we are starting off here with this submission from Flame G, who's done this Valley Rock Show / inspired submission. So those of you that don't know Guns N' Roses, Slash is from Guns N' Roses, and is iconic for wearing like a hat like this, like a top hat kind of thing, and having big curly hair. And I think this is absolutely incredible. And what I love about this, the creativity of using your digging tool, what are they called? Shovels? Spades? Yeah, those things. And using it, and because you're in that animation pose of kind of like either getting it out or putting it away, it almost looks like it's being held like a guitar, and I love that. I mean, right out the bat, we've got a creation that is just so creative, and I'm just, yeah, I'm pretty inspired. I think that's so cool. I really wish I'd kind of thought of doing something like that. I think it's super fun, and yeah, I've got to say, and like even timing it as well, because I see you've got these flames going on, and I gave up on these flames because to me these flames, the timing on them is just too short. So the fact that you've managed to get everything just like so well coordinated and stuff like that is just absolutely incredible. So I think this is an absolutely fantastic snap. Next up, we have a snap from Luanil, and I just like, okay, I'm actually blown away. I was expecting snaps to look very samey. I know we've only done two, but each very individual, each impressive in their own way. I love that you've got the flames behind your character, which not only looks great in terms of like pyrotechnics, but also the fact that like it just enhances how your character looks. It's like that lighting trick you can do where you put lighting behind your character to make them pop out, but instead you've used those. I'm really impressed with how you have the what do you call them? These from Jafar, these Jafar things. What are they called? The viziers things. Like, I'm just impressed that you've managed to get them, and like this like lightning strike, absolutely perfectly timed. Then you have character villagers, again, how you've got them perfectly timed. I'm assuming you're hanging out with Stitch, but then like Ursula's looking towards the front, Beast is looking towards the front. Do you know how hard it is to time that stuff? I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just so impressed. I think this is going to rank very, very high. Next up, we have a submission from Strawberry Blonde. And I love this. Okay, so not only does Strawberry Blonde like to submit at the very, very last second, which let me show you 28 seconds. 28 seconds to spare. I'm sorry, I can't. There's too much stress. But we have this submission now. I did lay down a bit of a challenge because of the fact that Strawberry Blonde had been reusing one of her setups, which is nothing that I'm critical of, by the way. I just want to put it out there. I just noticed like a reuse of the setup, which honestly, if it saves you work, then by all means do it. You know, I ain't gonna discourage. So I kind of set the challenge to do a rock show with pumpkins, and I am very sorry if this backfires. If this does not work out, I'll feel bad. But honestly, you've got the rock show going on. I like the pumpkins because it adds to the kind of almost like Halloween vibes of it, like very performancey, very like, let's face it, right? Okay, bad comparison because it's not a rock show, but did you guys see what Sabrina Carpenter did with her October, her Halloween show? And she had all her outfits but coordinated them so they were like Halloween outfits. So she had like a Tinkerbell outfit, she had like a Sandy from Grease outfit, she had like a Playboy bunny outfit, but all the outfits were still on theme for what she technically kind of wears. They were the same sort of almost like structure in a sense. So like it was just incredible. And that's kind of like what I'm thinking in my head here, is I'm thinking this is someone putting on their Halloween performance show. And I think it's fun. You know, you've got all the key pieces in here, I'd say. You know, you've got the dance floor, you've got all the musical instruments. It looks like your character's performing. So the only thing that will maybe let this down is the fog, if people think it's a bit too foggy. But otherwise, I think this is a good snap. So yeah, great job with this, and well done on integrating those Halloween pumpkins and basically reusing your setup again for this snap. Yeah, big round of applause to you. Next up, we have a submission from Pupster and Luca, and I really, really like this snap. I love how colourful and vibrant it is. I love that you've used the villains for your kind of like rock show snap, which I think is kind of good, because that was something that I was struggling with like when I was trying to use the stage, was that it was like automating characters in, and I was just like, these would not fit the rock show vibe. They're not it. So I think setting up and structuring your own kind of stage and stuff like that was definitely a great way to go. I love this colourful, almost like stage that you've created. And obviously, because you can't put lots of things on these items, what they called, like these dance floors, because there's one pixel square, there's like one square where you can't put any items on it. So obviously you haven't been able to use like the drums on it, but I think you framed this in such a good way. I love the mix and match colors of the Bumblestone pillars in the background. Yeah, it's just very vibrant, very colorful, definitely got those rock show vibes. I love the position that you've chose for your character in terms of taking this snap, and obviously those flame pyrotechnics as well, they work brilliantly. So yeah, I think this is an absolutely fantastic snap. Brilliant job to yourself and to Luca, of course, for coming up with such an amazing dream snap. Next, we have a submission from Bagel Arena, and you haven't reused your setup, which is very, very cool to see. I was wondering, I was like, because I know your bag submission was very similar to a kind of like a rock show, or at least a performance show vibe. But I love how this feels like a different snap. I love that you've created something different, and I think that's kind of fun, to see the changes you've made now that you've kind of got it as a specific challenge. I love to see that. I love the sparkles at the very front, and I actually love how you've set up this stage, to be honest. You've put this like DJ thing in front of it, but it just makes the stage feel so much more separate and like, yeah, I don't know. I just think it works really well. You're very lucky with the villagers you've got here. I don't know how many times you had to redo this, but to get like Gaston and the Forgotten, I do see that you got Ursula there as well. Like, I think they work brilliantly. You do have Mirabelle, but I think because she's tucked in the back, it doesn't detract away. Like, I think you've got a real rock show band there on your hands. I love this. I think this is a fantastic setup. I think it's colourful and I think it's fun. Next up, we have a submission from Glitch, and I do love this. We've got Goofy here. I love to see Goofy. It makes me happy. I love it. I love a submission with Goofy in it. I like this setup. I love the use of the Coco stage, and I love that you've got it turned on. I always forget that you can turn the Coco stage on, and it literally will cycle through as well. So, like, if you interact with it, these sparkling lights come down, and yeah, they do go off, but you can just wait a little bit and they'll come back round again. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like that you've actually like got it working in the background. I think that's really fun. And yeah, great submission. I definitely get the rock vibes from this, so brilliant job. Next up, we have a submission from Jolly, and I love this. It's very unique. I love that you've gone down the Ursula vibe. So, the Ursula kind of like stage setup is kind of like a bundle that you get from, well, her bundle. There's like a premium shop bundle that you can buy, and I love that you've gone down that route. You've got the outfit, we've got the stage, we have obviously Ursula dressed as Vanessa, and I love that. I like that you've really lent into the theme and you've gone all with it. I think that's really fun, and I think it's going to help it stand out amongst a lot of other submissions, which will have very similar backdrops. Which is not the fault of those people who have created those snaps. It's just the way it is with this kind of challenge. But I love the creativity of this. I love that you've got all the sea creatures dotted around. I think that's pretty fun as well. So yeah, I think this is good. It definitely has those rock show vibes. I love how you two look. I love the coordination of everything. Yeah, I think this is fantastic. Next up, we have a submission from Madam Red, and I love this. I think this is really fun. I think it's a unique perspective. A lot of the submissions we're seeing are looking straight onto the stage, but here it's like we see this whole performance area. We can see the stage to the right with all the musical instruments. We've got like this dance floor section that you're on with Sully. We have some of the characters in the background as well. It does feel like kind of like a gig show, an outdoor show and performance. I think it works really well. I do. I like the uniqueness of this like shot perspective. I think it is really good, very clever, just kind of looks a bit different. But we've definitely got all those rock show elements and vibes within the snap. And I like the framing at the bottom with the fence here where it just like kind of crops in a little bit. So fantastic work on that one. Next up, we have a submission from Vinny Luca, and I really like this. I love the dual stage kind of like setup. I think that's super fun. I never thought like, or would have even considered about using two of the stages sort of together and then spacing the items out. But I think this looks really good, and I love this like smoke that's coming through at the front. Like, that's really fun. I do think that's really, really fun. I like that. I think it's creative. I think it's unique. Yeah, I think you've done a brilliant job on this. And obviously, we've definitely got those rock show vibes. We've got all the musical instruments. Your character looks like they're performing. We've got the lights and everything like that. So I think it works together really, really well. I think it's a very vibrant shot. And yeah, I think this will do well. Next up, we have an alt account from Jolly, and I love this. What I love about this is that you've got that wilted flower house in the background, which I never would have thought of using, right? Because, like, I see it and I think kind of like witch core, fairy core, maybe even slightly bordering on the cottage core and everything like that. But like it works. I think it's because the fairy lights and obviously that purple tone. I think it just works really well. And because you've hidden most of the like house features, it's just like a branch. It's just like a dead, twisted tree kind of vibe. So I think it fits in really well. I love the glowing green in the backdrop. I think that looks really cool. I love the symmetry with this shot. I love the moon in the top corner. I love how your character's dressed. Yeah, I think this is really fun. There's like, do you know what? There's little spots of colour, but it's not too overwhelming. It's not too in your face. So I think you've done really well. And we do have this sparkle perfectly lined up with the microphone. The timing on that is just brilliant. It just kind of like really highlights it, draws attention to it, and I think that's super fun. And I really do love the creative setup of this. I think it's so fun and yeah, just so creative. Next up, we're going to have a couple of submissions from Sunny, and I really, really love this. I love how your character looks. I think she looks absolutely stunning. I love the lighting on this. It really kind of has a really nice warm tone. I know a lot of people have gone a bit darker with their submissions, which does make sense. So it's not a criticism. It does make sense. Like I've been to plenty of rock shows in my life. They're usually quite dark. But I love this. I love the vibrancy of it, but we've still got that performative and rock show aspect. You've got the electric guitars, you've got the look and everything like that, but it's just so vibrant and yeah, really eye-catching, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And then we have your next submission here as well. Oh my gosh, look at this blinding light backdrop, and it really just highlights the instruments that you've got here towards the front. What I really like is this flooring that you've gone with. This is like an Eternity Isle flooring, and it's actually quite cool flooring because it does have these like borders to it. I do quite like this flooring. I've used it in my build with Wally and Eve, and I've done it as like a little runway, I guess you could say, because I do like that kind of like border to it and the the metal kind of vibes of it all. It feels like those metal kind of like paths that you get and stuff like that. So yeah, I really love this. I think this is fantastic. Obviously your character looks great as well. So yeah, I think you've done a really, really good job on this. I think this is very fun and creative. Right, next up we have Wynter Dragonfly, and I'm actually going to read the text that she's put because she's put a really cool fun text here. So it says, Daisy Duck here reporting on some major news. Dreamlight Valley has its first ever boy band comprised of 5 very talented young men. Gaston is the bad boy of the group, Christophe the shy quiet one, Eric is the one the ladies swoon over, Adam, aka the Beast, looks menacing but is actually the sensitive one, and rounding out the crooning quintet is the baby of the group, Quinn. So what do you think the Fab Five call themselves? Dream Boys. I had the pleasure of seeing them perform their first ever concert in the Valley, and this group is going to be big. And not just because they're the only boy band in the Valley. Daisy Duck signing off. And oh my gosh, I love that. I kind of wish that was a story that all the voters could see, because I think that is so fun. Well, at least anyone who watches this video gets that and can see that, because oh my gosh, that was such a fun little description for this little setup that you've got going on here. I love it. I love it. No, that was so fun. Such a joy to read that, actually. I really enjoyed that. I love this setup that you've got. I love that you've gone for a male avatar here. I love the backdrop. Definitely got those rock vibes, especially with all the lights and the pyrotechnics. We've got all the musical instruments. I love that you've managed to capture Christoph on his little guitar thing. I know it's not called a guitar, but you know what I mean. And what I love, look at Eric side eyeing Gaston. Look at this eye contact. That is so hilarious, honestly. That is so, so funny. And then there's Beast just looking forward. Beast is so focused on the performance. He's just trying to get through this. No, but I love this. I think this is super fun, super creative. I love the backdrop. I love the setup, and I really enjoyed the little story you put together with it. I think that was so, so, so fun. And then we have the next submission, which I'm assuming is your alternate account or something like that, perhaps. But yeah, this is fun too. I really like this. Look at little Wally there. That's so cute. Look at him behind the little keyboards. That's just adorable. Obviously, we've got Daisy here. We have Beast. Your character looks great. The lighting is fantastic. Yeah, I think this is a very, very fun submission as well. I hope both do extremely well for you. I really enjoyed the story you told, and I really enjoyed both snaps. Next up, we have a submission from Film Brat, and I do love this stage setup here. You know, we've got the musical instruments on there. We do have the different lighting effects. I love that you've gone for like these flowers here as well because they illuminate. So it does tie in with all the lights and stuff. We have a bunch of characters at the front, so it does look like they're watching the performance, which again, I think is very, very fun to see. And then your character's there at the front, like as if she's ready to warm up the crowd, get the rock show going and things like that. I think this is very, very good. I mean, it is a bit duller. I don't know if it's foggy in your valley. It looks a bit foggy, which could have probably dulled the image down a little bit. But I think this is fun. I think this is really, really good. I think it's definitely got those rock show vibes. And I love that you've put an audience ready to watch the performance, because obviously what good is a rock show without an audience, kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? So I love that you've remembered that detail and included it in your snap. Next up, we have a submission from Alley Cat, and I love this. I kind of love the simplicity that all we have here is your character, Goofy, and Jack. Like, we haven't had to go overboard like I feel like I've done with my submissions, where I've just crammed in as many people as possible. Like, I love this. You've just gone, you know what? Drums and keyboards, we've got people on them, I'm singing, that's it. Which I think is fantastic. I love the backdrop for this and the setup. I love how you've created this snap. I think it's really, really fun. It's very colourful. The pose your character is in, it just feels very, very performative. Like even Jack's pose as well. Yeah, I think you've done a fantastic job of pulling this all together. And the timing as well. The fact that you've got Jack in his pose, we've got pyrotechnics going off as well. We've got you mid-pose as well. I'm sorry, I don't know how you managed it all. I think it does look fantastic, and I think you've done a brilliant job here. Next up, we have my alt account, and I'm not expecting much from this. I was having a nightmare of a time with basically Ariel and Ursula. As you've probably seen here, they are kind of merged together as one. I cannot tell you how many times I interacted with this stage to either try to get them off or put them in a position where it was only them there, and Ursula or Ariel were constantly merged with other people, and it looked horrendous. It absolutely did. So eventually I just went, you know what, I'm giving up. You guys want to be stuck together, we will stick you together. So this is my performance. And because of how ridiculous Ariel and Ursula was, I was like, do you know what? Goofy wants to pull a funny face, we'll let him take the funny face. You know what I'm saying? I think I just got to the point that I was like, enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm done. This is all I need to do. And so, yeah, that's how we've ended up here. Next up, we have the snap on my husband's account, and I actually think this is the best one I did this week for this challenge. I think it turned out better than a lot of the other submissions I did. Hopefully we've got like a good emphasis on the lights. You know, we do have some instruments down. As I said, I didn't have as much on this account as what I had on my alt account, so that's why I don't have all the like electric guitars and stuff, because I just didn't have them unlocked. And unfortunately, the stage where my husband's account was at in the star path was the ones that, like, the tasks that take multiple days or take multiple trips to like the restaurants, and obviously the restaurants only update every hour, so that would have been another hour long wait kind of thing. So I just kind of decided, right, it's too much. It's too much. So we'll just live with what we've got. So I have got some musical instruments down. I put the DJ booth down, which you did see clearer before, but then I used the lighting trick to kind of enhance the character, my husband's avatar, and which I think was worth it. I think it really helped highlight that, and it did, I think, personally create a really nice effect, but you don't really see much of the DJ booth then. So yeah, but I hope it looks good. I didn't mind the fact that there was lots of characters around, because I was like, okay, it probably looks like they're here for the rock show. So we got Tiana cropped in at the front, like as if she's watching the show, and she's waving to her favorite superstars. You know, we got the Forgotten at the side watching. We have Minnie and Wally on the other side and things like that. So I think ultimately this turned out all right. This is probably going to be the best performing of all three snaps that I made. Next up, we have a submission from Nina, and I really, really like this. I love that you've gone with these light blue trees just to really brighten up the shot. I think that was really fun. I love the lighting with these staggered multiple lights that you get from the star path. I think Ursula looks fantastic. I think Jack looks fantastic. We do have Timon there as well. We've got Sully in the back. He looks like he's doing all his DJ stuff, which I think is fantastic. And yeah, I think this is a really fun snap, very creative. It definitely has those rock show vibes. So I think this is going to do very well. Next up, we have a submission from Disney Dreamer, and I really, really like this. I think this is super fun, and what I love about this is something that I mentioned on a previous snap, is that I love that you've shown the audience, because, you know, as I said, you know, a rock show's only as good as, you know, its audience kind of thing. You know, you gotta have the audience there. So I absolutely love this. I think it's very, very fun. I think there's a lot of lights and vibrancy. I like that there's a bar in the back corner on the right side as well. So like people can get their drinks either before or after the show. And then, like I said, you know, we've got all these people ready to watch the show. We've got the chairs and the people walking down the main pathway to get to their seats and stuff, or maybe it's the standing part of this, like the arena, or, you know, I don't know, but it is fun. I do enjoy this. I think it is very fun. Next up, we have a submission from Blush Danielle. I really love the hair choice, the makeup choice, and like the outfit choice you've gone with here, you know, the pink and the blue mix. I think it looks absolutely wonderful, very, very fun. I really, really enjoy that. I love the backdrop. I think it's really creative. So we do have this magnolia fence thing, which is part of kind of like the Mulan collection of stuff. It was in the premium shop. However long ago it was, I was trying to think, but like I can't remember. But around the time that we had the Mulan update, I don't think it's been back since. And I love how you've done the lights in front of it. I think that looks fun. And then we've even got these marble pillars. It's just a really nice and pretty backdrop, which I love. And I love how you've broken up this backdrop with those lights and added a bit of colour and vibrancy, so the wall doesn't look too plain. I love that you've got those blimps in the backdrop. I love that you've got Eric and Christoph here, and they're both doing their own performances, basically. Also, the tiny chairs to block them in. That's really good. That's really good, because I was trying to block the characters in on my account, and I was really struggling with it. And I tried using the blue lights, the Mickey lights, because I thought they would look good. But as soon as I added the filter on, it was just too much. It was too overwhelming, like, even for me. So I had to kind of like redecide and get rid of a bunch of stuff. But those tiny chairs are kind of pretty hard to see. And brilliant job. I think that's so, so smart. I love it. I think that's a really fun and creative way. If anyone has those tiny chairs, you can buy more from Scrooge, I think. They were a quest line with Mulan. You get some tiny chairs, and originally you couldn't place them down, but now you can. I assume you can buy more from Scrooge. I could be wrong, but I know you get, how many do you make or something like that? You get like 5 chairs or something, I think. I'm trying to think how many's in that, the small villagers club. There's like Woody and I think Remy and Stitch, perhaps. Like, I don't remember. But yeah, like, those chairs, brilliant idea. I love it. And I love the setup, obviously all the musical instruments, the lights and everything. I think it works together really great. So yeah, brilliant job on that one. Next up, we have a submission from Sunny Wawa, and I really love this, kind of leaning into those dark purple, like the Forgotten vibes. I think is really, really fun. We've got the backdrop of the Forgotten Lands landscape, which ties in really well with all the purple colours we've got going on. Obviously, you got the Forgotten here on your stage, so that's obviously fantastic how that's ended out for you, that's who you've got. Obviously you got Eve, and then you got Oswald, which is very, very cute. I love all the sparkles. I did not realise you could drop those buttons on the stage, or put those buttons on the stage. That is a brilliant trick for getting those little sparkles in as well. So, and obviously you got the pyrotechnics going off. Your character is in that kind of like mid pose where they get out one of their tools, I think it is, or at least one of those transition kind of points. If you can time it right, when your character's kind of going between poses or between sort of animations and stuff, you can usually capture them in slightly different positions. So just a little tip for anyone who's taking photos, like, try and spam that photo taking button just to see what pictures you can get. It's I think a good tool to learn from. But yeah, I think this is really fantastic. I love the colours on this. I think this is a brilliant rock show performance vibe setup. And lastly, for this part, we have Wolfie's submission. I did see that you got your kiddos help, which I think is super fun. I love when people make, like, for those that like have kids and things like that, I love it when they make gaming a family event. One of the big things for me growing up was, like, gaming was a very kind of family event kind of thing in a way. Like, at least when we were younger, we didn't all have our own PlayStation 1s or Nintendo 64s, we had one for the house and everyone shared it. I think things were a lot different back then than what they are now. So yeah, it was something that, I used to watch my parents play games, or me and my sisters would play games, or we'd play games that were sort of multiplayer as a family and stuff like that. So I love to see that. I think that's fun to know. It definitely has those rock show vibe setups. You've got the projector screen in the background with, like, the speakers on it. We've got the drums and the guitar and things like that. We've got the the dance floor and whatnot. And yeah, I think this is great. I think you've done really well with this setup. I love that, like I said, that you've done this with your kiddo and things like that. So brilliant job on this snap. I think you've done really, really well. Well, there you go. That's the first half of the submissions from Discord for the Rock Show Dreamsnap challenge. And honestly, I'm impressed. A lot of us are using the same sort of items, but the way you've all made them unique and individual has honestly surprised me. It's clearly just me without the creativity. But seriously, you've all done absolutely incredible. It's such a joy to see. Thank you all so much for sharing your dream snaps in the Discord. If you're watching my channel, if you're new to it, we have had quite a few subscribers, which thank you very, very much. But if you want, feel free to join my Discord if you use Discord. You can actually post your dream snap in the Dream Snaps channel, and I can feature it in a video like this. So yeah, if you want to do that, the Discord link is in the description below. But I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day. Do take care of yourselves and make sure to stick around for part 2, where we look at the second half of the submissions in Discord for the Rock Show Dreamsnap challenge. Anyway, you take care. Bye guys!